Hi and welcome back to Garden Ninja. Today's video guide is going to show you a complete garden transformation, and if you've been following my channel you may have watched a video where I showed you the full render process of one of my garden designs, and I did that with loads of explanation. So today is the exciting bit because the garden is being built, and today I'm going to go and plant it up, and along this journey I'm going to be showing you the types of plants I'm putting in and giving you a before and after, showing what you can do even with a small garden if you put your design head to it. So come on, let's get in the van and let's get cracking. So let's take a look at the garden before the makeover. It was a pretty uninspired blank box. It had great views, but there was loads of road noise and hardly any privacy. The design brief was to create a really modern garden that was sympathetic to the surroundings. The clients also wanted to encourage loads of wildlife and have seasonality in the garden, which was fantastic news. So I created them a design that was really modern but had soft natural planting, and I'm going to show you how I do that now. So the build team have been in and have laid the foundations of the design. We've got the patio, the water feature, some monoliths, that circular lawn, the curved path that bisects it, and all the edge work. But it's not going to be a garden unless there's plants, and plants are a huge part of this design. So it's now time to get my gloves on and start planting. So take a look down here. These are all the plants that are going into the garden. And it may not look like a lot now, but some of these specimens are going to get to 2 meters tall. Some are going to be about 1.5 meters in diameter. So it's always worthwhile working out the ultimate size and growth of your plants rather than just stuffing your garden full of plants when they just start to burst out and look really messy. So if you work out the ultimate height and growth and diameter, then you can plan for how many you actually need. So another top tip is to lay out all of your plants before you start committing them to the ground. So you might notice me looking around, seeing where things will go and where they'll fit best. So you basically choose the position based on what the plant likes. And if you've done your plant plan correctly, that shouldn't be too difficult. And it's all about choosing the right plant for the right place. There we go. Lovely. Now another top tip is to always have a planting plan, and this is a planting plan for this garden that I designed last year, and you may recognise it from the video. But as you can see, I've annotated all of the plants here with a key. Now these sizes are to scale, so they'll show the ultimate height of the plants. You can see some of them here, sort of in relation to the water feature, the patio and the stepping stones and stuff. So it's a good way of working out what will fit where, and also when it comes to planting you can follow this. But if things don't quite work, or you end up with different plants, you can shift them around a bit. It's just a good benchmark. Now it's time for the fun bit, which is digging in the plants. And I can't stress enough how much you need to take your time when you're doing this and enjoy the process. When I'm digging in plants, I'm making sure that I dig a hole that's at least 1.5 times the size of the pot that the plant came in. I then loosen the roots underneath, as you can see me doing here, which just enables the plants to get off to a better start. I then backfill, firm in, and always, always, always water your plants no matter what the weather. So the garden is finally finished. All the plants are in, the hard landscaping's finished, and the water feature has been powered up. So let me take you on a tour of the garden and give you a few tips as to why I've designed it the way that I have. So I've designed this garden to have different areas of interest depending on how the owners want to use it. Behind me is what I call the snug, and this leads directly off the house. And it's just big enough for maybe 1 or 2 people to sit there, and this has really been planned for like a morning coffee or maybe a drink in the evening, but you just want to get away on your own. Now the snug also has this curved gravel path, you can see that down here, which then connects with the lawn. And what I love about this lawn is that it's a little bit different. I've gone for a circular lawn, so I bisected it with this gravel path, and it really helps cut up the garden and provide a real focal point, because it makes you ask, where does that path lead? We're now at the stepping stones to the main patio area, as you can see down here, and this is a nice little transition, and this is the more formal, relaxed area. So here we are at the back of the garden, beautiful granite patio. And what I've done is I've used this bed here to connect the field to the garden. So again, we're using these native herbaceous perennials, tall grasses that are just going to provide a soft screen, but without blocking out that gorgeous view. And this is what you would call a borrowed view. So I'm pulling that meadow into the garden and the garden into the meadow. It's a clever trick to make your garden feel bigger. Once all this grows up, the client will be hard pushed to know where the garden starts and finishes. So I've used a number of multi-stem trees to provide a bit of height without blocking out light. This is one of my favourites, Amelanchier, and I use it in a lot of designs. Over here at the back, we've got multi-stem birch, and over on this side, behind me, where are we? There, we've got a Prunus sorella, which is beautiful. It's got this gorgeous red bark. So let's whiz over, and I'll give you a quick close-up of that now. It's always really nice when you get a design client that is willing to push the boundaries and go for something a little bit different. And with this design, the clients were great because they've allowed me to choose loads of native herbaceous perennials and create a real wildlife-friendly garden whilst keeping a contemporary look. Because contemporary modern gardens don't always have to be lots of evergreen clipped box and sort of just pops of colour here and there using bedding plants. Think outside the box, because by using herbaceous perennials and native species, you can create a much more interesting garden over a longer period of time. Don't follow the crowd, do your own thing. So there we go, the finished garden. And I'm going to return to this one in a few months to see how it's getting on when all the plants start to mesh together. But hopefully this guide is showing you how you can take even a small urban garden and create a sanctuary for wildlife, whilst also keeping it super slick and stylish. And I hope the client's going to enjoy this for years to come as everything starts to evolve, because they're going to be able to see the seasons as well with the trees and the plants. Anyway, if you've liked this video, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, where there'll be loads more garden design, hints, tips and hacks from me, the Garden Ninja. Happy gardening.